You clicked on this video to learn more about service delivery and retention as an online freelancer, specifically on Upwork. This is actually a fourth video of a playlist on this YouTube channel that specifically covers all the basics and what you need to know as an Upwork freelancer. The first video talked about optimizing your profile. The second video talked about proposals. Third one talked about pricing. And this one is talking about service delivery and retention. I like to keep these kind of candid and kind of real, where it's just a conversation between me and I guess you through the camera, and really just giving a real inside look of what it actually takes and what you need to do. Not really gatekeeping any of this stuff. Honestly, it's just about getting started and kind of giving the basic tools that you should be at least know about when you're going through your Upwork journey. So who am I? My name is Brandon, and I currently run a video editing agency, which is now turning into a creative agency. And I really started my career on Upwork as a video editing freelancer about 1 year ago. We currently have 7 clients each at a 1 to 2K monthly retainer. And that's not to brag or anything, nothing really to brag about. It's just kind of telling you that it took me about 1 year to do this. And it could honestly be a lot faster if you kind of knew these things that I'm telling you in these breakdowns and this playlist. That's kind of like why I want to make this playlist, to encourage you that it does not have to take that long, and it doesn't have to be an excruciating or overwhelming experience. Maybe it's because online not many people are talking about like the tangible and actionable things. So that's kind of what this channel is all about, kind of giving you actionable steps and what you should really be focusing on when you're starting out as a freelancer, or maybe even turning your freelancing journey career into an actual full-fledged business. And that's not to say that we know everything. We honestly are just scratching the surface and barely really know. It's just more about taking action and going for it. And if you want to have this conversation in the comments, I'd love to even kind of pick your brain, pick my brain, and we can have like a full conversation of like things that we could do, things that we could improve on both ends. And that's kind of the whole point of this channel. So anyway, I'm going to hop on my computer here and we're going to kind of talk about more about service and retention. So to give some context, you have your profile, you have your prices, you started messaging a bunch of people on Upwork, sending these proposals, and now you have some people actually messaging you back and now interested in your service. The next step there is either you jump on a call with them or you can even just talk out in the chat. I would recommend jumping on a call with them because that really builds that rapport and that relationship right off the bat. You're trying to differentiate yourselves from everyone else. I would hop on a call. For some people, that is going to be a little difficult, going in front of a camera and actually talking to like a complete stranger. But honestly, just do it a couple times, do it a few times, and you'll start realizing that, yo, it's just another human being on the other side that's just looking for some kind of service. They really don't care about like what you look or how you sound like. It's more about you giving that confidence, enthusiasm that you can actually provide them that service. And that's all you really need. But it definitely takes practice, and that's not something that you can just get overnight. You just have to start doing it and really just go for it, send the Calendly link. But honestly, it's going to take some time, so you might as well just get started real quick as soon as you can. And I guess that's going to go into my first point here, which is communication. Down here, communication. Cool. Communication. This might be the most important thing here. Your clients just want their work done. You could just give that. But if you can go above and beyond and actually like communicate with them, talk about it, discuss on things that could make it better, do a little bit more than just like, here's your service. You actually provide them different things and you give different insights and actually have that constant communication from the call and anytime afterwards. Like, let's say you can, one thing that I would do is I would invite people to a Slack channel. Just whatever you can do to really communicate and really make it feel like you actually do genuinely care about whatever their project or task or their business is all about. Something at the beginning I did as well is once they got on a call with me, I even had like a little PDF or almost like a proposal deck of what my service was about to really show that I'm prepared for this. That PDF was like something super short, nothing crazy. Honestly, I just made it on Canva. We can even search it up right now. Be like, yo, you can literally go on Canva and search up like proposal, business proposal, right? I have the paid one. Honestly, you can get these for free, but yeah, like these crown ones are paid. But like there's this one. This one's free. Yo, spend some time on Canva, put your service on this little proposal deck, and in your call, you can just show this and talk about it. At least at that point, you are again differentiating yourself from everyone else, making yourself look as professional as possible to then like increase your chances of getting the job. That's something, one way that I would really communicate it. Another thing that I used to do a bit later on, after maybe a few months, is I would invite these people to Slack channels or WhatsApp and actually talk to them there and kind of tell them like, hey, like I like receiving these kind of messages on my phone so I can like answer you or respond to you as fast as I can. Do you have WhatsApp, right? We can talk on WhatsApp or we can talk on Slack, right? It's that constant communication to make them really feel like you like genuinely care. I would say right off the bat, even before you even deliver any service, communication is key. The second point I like to put here, and I think you've heard this before, is under promise and over deliver. Everyone talks about this because it is tried and true, especially when you are a freelancer. Under promise and over deliver. What does that mean? Well, if you can finish the project or task in, let's say, 2 days, then when you talk to the client about it, you should tell them that you can actually finish it in 5 days, and then actually set that expectation that it's going to take about 5 days to finish this. And then you actually finish it in like 3 days, and you actually you finish it in 2 days and you deliver it on the third day. Be like, hey, here, it's finished, boom, boom, boom. And it's that you're giving that expectation that it's going to take longer, but you're actually going to finish it like way sooner. You can do this to a degree, right? If the thing that they're asking for actually is only going to take like 6 hours, you can't tell them that it's going to take 5 days. That's not going to work out. Like, there's a fine line of this, right? You can't just tell them a certain amount of days when it can actually be done super quick. But if the project actually takes 5 days generally, but because your skill actually made it faster, that's when you should be doing this, right? Like, let's say for me as a video editor, this video usually would take like a regular person that doesn't have video editing experience. It might take you 5 days to like do the whole thing. But because of my video editing experience, it took me 3 days or 2 days. Then you could do this. Same with any, like, not just video editing, but any niche or anything on here. If your skill can expedite the process and like make it easier, and that's kind of what it should be, then you can say that it will take X amount of days and actually finish it way sooner. So you go above their expectations. Third point here, which kind of goes with the first point of communication, but something that took me some time to get used to, is don't be afraid to follow up. This is something I only really figured out after like turning this into a business and actually realizing why people follow up so often. When you're talking to these people, business people specifically, or like the people on Upwork who are like trying to get their work outsourced, they can be really busy and they might not see your message like first thing. And sometimes I would think, oh, like, should I message this person and see like, are they doing okay? Do they still want my service? Like, even when you're communicating things, like maybe you might be messaging and they're not even like really responding, and you might be talking to a brick wall. It took some like time at the beginning, but once I got over the hump of not being afraid to follow up, instead of thinking of following up as like an annoying thing, it's actually more of a productivity thing, and being like, hey, I really care about your business or your project. How's it going, right? Or like, here it is, have you seen it yet, right? Or even just giving like a quick little nudge and just being like, hey, just checking up or following up on this. That goes with your current clients, but that especially needs to happen with people that have talked to you and maybe didn't respond after you gave your initial response. Let's say someone messages you about your service and you say, hey, I could do that. Maybe are you free or interested in hopping on a call like this week? Let's say the week goes by and they do not answer. Follow up. After the first follow-up and it's been a few days, follow up again. Be kind of relentless on how much you follow up. Again, it's not an annoying tool. It's more showing them that you care, that you're like a professional and don't want to waste anyone's time here. It's just about the work. You kind of have to throw like that emotional stuff like out the window when you're doing stuff like that. It's about business. People just want to make money on here. So if you can provide the value and be excited to provide the value by following up consistently, then that can go a long way. And I don't know how many clients I've retained or even like got new clients that I've gotten just from like following up because they were like, oh, I actually just didn't see this. Thanks for following up. Like things of that nature. Don't be afraid to follow up. Also, with all these points, I'm not really necessarily going to talk about your actual like service delivery. It's obviously making sure that you finish the service on time. But I know that there are so many other services here that I can't really go deep in. You should make sure that you can do the service first of all. You should know how to do the service if you're offering it. These are just the other things, right? Like making sure that you have constant communication, under promising and over delivering, and then just following up whenever you need to follow up, right? When necessary. I guess another tip that I would like give here, you don't necessarily have to do this, but I kind of said it earlier, is that make PDFs for discovery call, and for reviews. What does this mean? I explained earlier that making the PDF for discovery call, it's really a good tool to show that you like are going above and beyond and really being professional about it, right? You're not just another freelancer on here. Like you are, you hold yourself to a standard, and you have this PDF that you took time to make, and people can see that. They can see that, like, oh wow, this guy is actually going for it, and you have that conviction in your voice. You've practiced this kind of presentation before. That really went a long way when I did that. The other PDF that you can make here is for reviews. The review isn't like testimonies. The review is more like your performance, or how the project performed, or what you did during that time. Like just a review, an overall review. So an example is, if you have a service that is like retaining or recurring, which is kind of like what I was doing. It was like most of these were weekly. They were happening weekly to a point where it was happening monthly. I would have a monthly review. By the end of the month, I literally made a quick little PDF. And honestly, Canva is like your best friend here. So let's do Canva. An example would be like, yeah, social media. Oh, report. Report is the better. Yes, a report right here, right? So something like this. If you're a social media manager, or you're like a website developer, a website designer, and you're looking at conversions, or you're looking at how many followers you got, if that's like your niche and your niche allows it, you should have some kind of review or report that happens, whether it's like weekly or monthly. I think weekly is a little bit too much, but if you're recurring monthly, or maybe after every time you finish a project, hey, here's a PDF of like what we've done, right? Here within the month, here's the things that I've done, and I just wanted to present it to you. Those are things that are above and beyond that not every freelancer, especially on Upwork, are doing. You just have to stand out. And I think doing more of these things, like having a report at the end, or even having a proposal on your discovery call, those are things that are different, that a business would do, right? As opposed to just a freelancer. And I think those are retention strategies. This report is literally a very good retention strategy. Big companies do it, so why can't you like do one as well, right? It doesn't have to be crazy. Literally go on Canva, search up a report, fill that in with the client work that you did, and that's literally good enough. It's just about making the client feel comfortable, or making them feel like they made the right decision and that they want to continue working with you. I like working with recurring clients because it's like you then start building a monthly like recurring revenue, as opposed to just like one-time clients. I know that is specific to your niche, but if it is recurring, like social media management or video editing or Facebook ads or any of that kind of stuff, right? Anything that requires a month to month like basis kind of deal, then I would 100% have a report. Easy report, just to make them feel like, yo, you know what? Like, here's what you've done. Here it is. To a point where you want to make them feel like they need to be working with you. They can't see themselves not working with you because of how convenient or how easy you're making their life is for them. So a report definitely does that, and that's a pretty good way to keep retention with your client. So those are just a few points on service delivery and retention. I don't know everything. These are just some of the core kind of points that I used when I was freelancing, and even up to now. Even now when I'm running a full-time business, these are still points that are still relevant. And I'm noticing that now as I continue to grow this business, is that the things that you would do as like a business, if I started them earlier in my freelancing journey, then I would have gotten to this point and maybe even farther way quicker. Just kind of why I'm making these videos, just kind of explaining like the things that I would do a year ago. But a lot of it really is just testing. You just have to try it out, test it. There might be things here where like, you know what, like I can't even do this, or I don't want to do this, or this doesn't work for you. This doesn't work for your niche. Then that's totally cool. Just go out there, just do them. Come back here, ask some questions in the comments. We can talk about it. If you want to talk with us too, we're going to leave some links in the description where you can like reach us. Those will include like our websites and even like a free consultation. We actually offer that for our clients, but also for people who are interested in building their own business, and specifically even like learning video editing. We have a free consultation for there as well. So if you want to talk to me or anyone on our team, we can actually get that set up. Until then, feel free to leave a comment on any feedback on anything. Like, subscribe. We'll be putting out more videos like this. And yeah, we'll see you guys at the next one. Bye-bye.